sports.
Welcome to The Playbook, where we're talking sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and we're 100% digital, 100% live, and 100% real. Let's count them down. Welcome to our digital sports show, The Playbook. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat. We do this every Monday at 1:45 on our digital and social properties at R&B Philly. I want to bring in my brother, sportscaster and podcaster Sean Bell, to join the show today. Okay, glasses gang.
Yeah, man, it's the glasses. Contacts wasn't feeling me this morning, so it's all glasses today.
I ran out of contacts.
That reminds me, I probably need to order some.
Right. This is all I have right now. So, and listen, without these glasses, I can't see anything. I'm not going to be able to do the show without the glasses. So that's why I've been wearing
Blind gang.
right.
Gang.
Of course. Let's hop into Philly takes because we got a lot to talk about. Our Eagles are kind of on a roll right now. We're headed into this bye week with a win. We got this win over the Jets over the weekend. Final score 33-18. Now, Jalen Hurts has been having some issues with the ankle. Days leading up to the game, we thought he was going to be ready to go. Turns out in the last minute, our backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew, was named the starter. In his first start as an Eagle, he went 20 for 25, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. The stats are coming in. They're saying his passer rating is higher, the highest that they've ever seen from an Eagles starter since Nick Foles, and that was when he played in the championship game. So there's a lot of hype right now with Gardner and his start. Let's talk about what Nick Sirianni had to say about the game.
I think the obviously it always starts up front and how the protection's going. I thought the protection was awesome, and not to take anything away from Gardner, he played a great game. He got the ball to the backs on checkdowns when there wasn't something there. He hit some chunks in the pass game. A couple of the Quez on those deep overs, and so I thought he played a really good game. And I think our message to Gardner was go out and be yourself, protect that football. You got a good supporting cast around you. You got a good offensive line, you got good receivers, you got a good tight end, you got good backs, you got a good running game, you got good defense. All right, so go out there and be yourself, and that's going to be enough. And so he did. He went out there and he played a really, really outstanding game. I'm really, really happy for Gardner and the game that he played.
So, Mr. Sean Bell, how did Mr. Gardner play?
He played well, but he also played the Jets.
Right.
Okay, let's everybody calm down, because you know how Philly likes to do. Quarterback controversy on deck. And there's going to be a controversy for the rest of the season into next year just because of this one moment, okay? And I knew it was coming. And it's not just the media, because everybody's like, oh, media heads are doing this. It's also the fans. People were split on Jalen Hurts going into this game, and now this has given them reason to be even more split in regards to this. Jalen Hurts is still your starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts still has a higher ceiling than Gardner Minshew, so that's the guy you need to properly evaluate for the rest of the year. Yes, Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. He's a great backup quarterback, but let's slow down. He played the Jets. If Jalen Hurts played the Jets somewhat healthy, he would have had a big day too. And everybody would have been saying, franchise quarterback, you see what he can do? So let's relax, okay? Let's calm down. Jalen Hurts is the starter. Joe Flacco could have went out there and played a great game against the Jets, okay? Anybody could have went out there and played a great game against the Jets. Not to take anything away from Gardner.
You're so shady.
We got to calm down. I hate what we're doing right now and acting like Gardner is the next coming and we should bench Jalen Hurts. Give Jalen Hurts some respect, okay? If he played the Jets, he would have lit it up too.
Well, Minshew was definitely celebrating. Here he is with his dad, who apparently comes to every game. So Gardner Minshew mania is sweeping Philadelphia. I literally have been hearing that since last night, since this weekend, today. You talked about the quarterback controversy. You're already starting to see the stats come in. He has the highest quarterback passing rating since Nick Foles, Why do you think this is happening? I mean, clearly he's like an energetic guy. He has the mustache. He cracks jokes. He seems like a likable guy. But why do you think so many people are on this bandwagon so early after one game?
One, because half of the fan base wasn't for Jalen Hurts, if we're being honest with you. Half of the fan base said, he's not the guy. We need to look somewhere else, whether it's Deshaun Watson or next year's draft. So you show a guy in Gardner Minshew who, he's a likable dude. Like, right. Jalen Hurts is likable. Gardner Minshew, all that stuff he does with the mustache and jumping up and down after with his dad. Like, I love to see it. I like what the dude does. I like what he brings. So, yes, he's likable. So you want people to cheer for him, and people are going to cheer for him. But everyone wasn't in on Jalen Hurts. We don't have a blue chip quarterback. If we had Joe Burrow, if we had Justin Herbert, if we had one of those young stud quarterbacks, no one would care. No one would be questioning anything going on with the city, because we would say, no, it's that person's team. But because Jalen Hurts isn't the blue chip, number one overall pick type of quarterback, there's always going to be questions. And no one loves the backup quarterback. Everyone loves the backup quarterback. No one doesn't love the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's so interesting too. They have such different personalities, right? Jalen's very reserved. He's very calm. He's very poised. He has like this leadership quality about himself. And Gardner is so on the other side. He seems all over the place. He's cracking jokes. He's jumping up with fans. They're just so different, and I think it just kind of appeals maybe to different people's personalities. Maybe some people like the more reserved, poised quarterback, and some people like the guy that you can have a beer with at the bar. I think it really just comes down to that. They're so different when it comes to how they present themselves to the media as well.
And they're different playing styles.
Right.
Gardner Minshew does have a more accurate arm than Jalen Hurts at this point in his career. And Jalen Hurts brings the running game to the offense. So that what they display is different. And everyone traditionally leans towards the traditional quarterback as the guy who's the blue chip, who's going to be the franchise quarterback, when actually they shouldn't. They should lean towards the running guy in this type of offense in the NFL now. They should lean towards a guy who can move better. But they're, like you said, they're totally different off the field, and they're totally different on the field. So it depends on what you want from a quarterback. But neither one are blue chippers. So they're always going to have doubt to their name.
Right. Well, we'll see how this carries on, because Philly loves to create a quarterback controversy. I mean, it happened with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, then Carson and Jalen, and now Jalen and Gardner. So we'll see how the rest of the season does play out. But Nick Sirianni has made it clear that Jalen Hurts is his starting quarterback moving forward, and Jalen will get an opportunity to rest that ankle because the Eagles are headed into a bye week. Now, our Sixers have been struggling lately. Joel Embiid is still trying to get back to 100% and fully recovered since having COVID. We barely beat the Hawks down in Atlanta Friday, 98-96. We're currently 9th in the East. We were number 1 prior to Joel and Tobias Harris and some of the other players coming down with COVID. Now we've dropped down to 9. We've been as low as 11. Now, this game was so tight, and we came away with the win, but Joel was so excited. Like, I have not seen him like this. Look at him. Yeah. Just jumping up for joy. He seemed like the little kid that made the 3-pointer and the clutch shot, and he's like, yes! It just was so endearing to see that kind of emotion pour out of Joel. What do we need right now for us to get back to that number 1 in the East team?
Consistency. I mean, if guys, like you said, guys are in and out of the lineup, how do you create consistency? How do you get in a rhythm? This team isn't talented enough to have people out all the time, right? Like, you look at the Brooklyn Nets, and we all were worried about them. Oh, they're not this, but they're number 1 for a reason, because they have blue chip studs, right? That's the name of the show. When you have name of the show, blue chippers, like blue chip studs, who you can say, all right, we can have a bunch of people out, but we got that guy and that guy. With this Philadelphia team, you don't have that. Yes, Joel Embiid is a blue chipper, but if he's out, and then Tobias is out, and then Seth Curry is out, and then Matisse is out, how are they supposed to win and get a rhythm? They're not good enough to have all these people flopping all over the place.
I do think that our lineup has been very inconsistent, but I also think our players have been very inconsistent. Like, I don't think Tobias and Danny Green have been as consistent as they should be as the veterans compared to the rest of the guys, the veterans on the team. I mean, I find myself just constantly disappointed in their production. And it's like, if Joel's not going to can't give you 30, 42 points a game. And I don't see those guys stepping up when Joel isn't giving us what we need. And that's frustrating to watch.
But you got to remember, Tobias had COVID too. Thibault had COVID too. They've been in and out of the lineup also, right? Like one night I have COVID. The next night I'm the number 2 offensive option. The next night I'm the number 4 offensive option. The next night I'm out again because of some injury or some issue, right? Like you said, it's disappointing not to see them being consistent.
Right.
But they're not consistent because they're not consistently in the lineup. And they're never going to have a rhythm if they're not in the lineup for 10, 12, 15 games straight.
Right. Well, I think we need a trade to happen fast because it's very clear that we need help on the Sixers. Today, a report was released that Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons, that he's unhappy playing with the current people on the team. He doesn't like the roster changes. He's frustrated with the coach. This is the clip that's circulating right now on the internet.
Who would you say is the NBA's top 3 perimeter defenders at the moment? I would say Drew Holiday, Ben Simmons, and Lou Dort. Those would be the top 3 for me.
So this is what fans are taking and running with, saying, look, he wants someone that could be on the defense, someone that doesn't shoot, so he could continue to shoot. This is a perfect matchup. We would have liked Damian to say, I want to play with Joel Embiid, but the rumor is that he wants to play with Ben Simmons. How does this influence the trade conversations that we're having right now, Sean?
It doesn't. He didn't sit there and say, I want to play with Ben Simmons. He just gave Ben Simmons props where props
right.
Ben is a great defender, and he gave Ben's that props, and he didn't bring it up out of nowhere. Someone asked him the question, and he answered honestly. Listen, and even if there is something to it, that doesn't mean he's coming to Philadelphia. That just means he wants maybe Portland to do something to get a trade to get Ben here. Okay? It's not going to be a situation where you had Ben Simmons, Damian Lillard,
right,
Joel Embiid. That's
right.
not happening. Ben is gone, and he's leaving.
Right.
And Portland, because they're terrible right now and their whole organization is awful and doing things a poor way, need to make a move. They're going to have a new GM. Their old GM just got fired.
Right.
They're going to have a new GM, and that new GM is going to want to put his stamp on the team right away. His stamp is going to be making a trade for somebody big that Damian Lillard wants, and that would be for Ben Simmons. It wouldn't be, hey, I'm the new GM, and I'm going to get rid of my best player so we can suck the next 3 years.
Right.
No new GM's going to do that.
Look, I'm just happy that this kind of opens up a door for something that could possibly happen. I didn't think Dame was going to be here, especially after he said that, but I do feel like there is a trade that can happen with Portland that would be beneficial to us in the long run and create some of that consistency that we've been asking for. So I'm excited at this because maybe this gets us a little bit closer to a trade, but I'm also hearing that, you know, if Dame's going to leave Portland, he wants to go to the Knicks and not to Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens. But he did tweet and said people love drama too much. So we don't know how much of the things that are being said are things that are literally something that he agrees with and just hearsay and rumors.
Dame is the only consistent player when it comes to words out there. Okay, when Dame says I'm 10 toes down, that means he's 10 toes down. And if he wants a trade, he will publicly say he wants to trade. He's not like these other players who are going to lie and then request something behind everyone's back. That's not Dame Dollar. That hasn't been his entire life. So yes, until he says it, I'm not going to believe rumors.
Right. That's Philly Takes. Let's get to a word from one of our sponsors, Borgata. Makes me want Welcome back to the Playbook. It's our digital sports show. We do it every Monday at 1:45 here on R&B Philly, on our digital platforms, and also rnbphilly.com. I'm Mina SayWhat. Sean Bell joining me today, podcaster and sportscaster. So, Sean, let's get to the mess. Okay, let's hop into Shoot Your Shot. This is where we talk about the players' love lives. We don't do it every week. But, today is an appropriate week to talk about this because last week it was revealed that a Sacramento Kings player is in the midst of some potential third baby mama drama with a personal trainer from Houston, Texas. The man's name is Tristan Thompson. You already knew where I was going with this. Apparently, there's a love child out there. He's being asked for child support for a baby boy that this trainer recently birthed. She claims it is Tristan's, and apparently she also named the baby boy after Tristan, Angelou Cash Thompson. Why is this man always in some cheating, affair, baby mama drama mess? Why?
Listen, man, leave that man alone. Let him have his peace. Okay?
What do you mean leave that man alone? These are moves that he makes.
Leave that man alone. Let him have his peace, okay? Clearly, he's not being checked for doing what he wants, doing these things. Clearly, it's being allowed to happen, so let it happen in peace. Okay? Leave him alone and let him do what he got to do.
I disagree.
That's right. I'm Team Tristan here. Okay?
No, this is surprising from you, Sean, because have you seen these text messages? Have you seen them where the woman is literally saying, I'm pregnant with your child? And he's like, I'm not going to be involved. If you think this is going to be a paycheck, you're wrong. I'm retiring. You're not going to get any money. Take this $75,000 a year and call it a day and stop taking me to court. You didn't see those text messages. How could we leave that alone?
I don't care. I don't care. That's Tristan's business. That's the baby mama's business. I don't care. Do it in peace away from me. Okay, so I don't have to hear about it. Okay, that is their business, and they're allowing Tristan to do these things. So fine.
All right, moving forward, getting back to some.
We should say something about Chloe and what she allows, but we don't leave that alone since we don't want to bring up and blame and say nothing. But
she's not the one that got an alleged love child by a woman, and he's telling this woman he's not even going to be involved in his child's life. If that's not irresponsibility on 1,000, I mean, I don't think Chloe has anything to do with that.
At some point, you got to say to yourself, you know what? If this person keeps doing this repetitive behavior, maybe I need to take ownership and leave and get out of here instead of keeping him. But if you're going to keep him, then I'm going to say, you know what? Why do I have to say anything about it? If that's what you choose to do, then I'm going to mind my business.
Well, let's get into the business of college football because the playoffs are set. Alabama will take on Cincinnati. Michigan will take on Georgia. Now, I have to admit, I haven't really been keeping up with college ball, but what can you tell me about this, Sean?
Oh, man, I hate the SEC. That's what I could tell you right now, right? Like, it's going to end up potentially being an Alabama-Georgia final, just like it was in the SEC championship game. Listen, Cincinnati's a great story, coming from the same conference as Temple, doing what they do, undefeated season, beautiful. They're going to get mashed by Alabama. Alabama, once again, is the cream of the crop. Blue chippers. Remember I said that's the word?
That's the word of the day, blue chip.
That young boy, Bryce Young, the things he's doing at the quarterback position for Alabama, he just looks different. Everyone else looks slow around him. Okay, so it's nice and cute that Cincinnati made it. Alabama, that's a blowout. Michigan and Georgia, I'm happy for you, Harbaugh. I actually am, even though I'm a Penn State guy. I'm happy for you. But Georgia, they got blue chippers. Michigan does too, but Georgia from the SEC. So either way, it's going to be Alabama's a thing to lose. If Alabama loses this, that means they choked.
Okay. Well, the winners are going to play January 10th in the national championship game in Indianapolis. Both semifinal games and national title games will be on ESPN. Let's get into plays this week. As I mentioned, our Eagles have a bye week, so they have some time to recuperate. Jalen can get better, but our Sixers, this is very critical because, headed into the holidays is when basketball really starts to kick up a notch. Now we play the Hornets tonight and Wednesday. It's so weird, the lineup this year. I feel like we play a lot of teams back to back in the same weeks. I mean, the fact that we're literally away Monday and Wednesday against the same team at the same time is just so weird. And then our schedule just gets increasingly difficult by two of the best teams in the West. We're playing the Jazz and then the Warriors, who we recently lost to as well. What do you have us doing this week, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, with COVID, they try to bunch some of these games up so they don't have to travel there, travel back. So you'll see a lot of situations where teams play the same team back to back, whether it could be a home and then away, but play the same people, get contact with the same people to try to eliminate some of this COVID stuff. But again, the Hornets, I think, are potentially going to be without LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier.
He has COVID, right?
Yeah, that's a hurt team. I don't know when they'll be back. I don't know what the timetable is. So if they're out for both the game, they should be two easy wins to get them back going. And then the Jazz and the Warriors are going to be two losses.
Right. I agree.
Very plain and simple. Like the Jazz are just a much better team getting a rhythm. The Warriors, listen, they're getting better and better. I don't know when James Wiseman and Clay are coming back, but it's going to be a rude awakening for the rest of the league. So yeah, Steph's going to put on a show. That's what he does.
I will say I enjoy watching the Currys go head to head. I enjoy that very much so.
Yeah, I mean, Steph plays well, but you're still little brother.
Yeah, we all know how you feel about Steph.
I like Steph. I like him. He just ain't Steph. He ain't got.
You know what's crazy? I thought about you last week during this show. We had Aaron on, who's a sports writer, and then obviously Terrell. And in our loss, one of our recent losses, Seth was open in the last couple of seconds, and then Joel ended up going up for the shot. And I asked the question, do we trust Seth Curry to make the game-winning shot when we're down 1? And those guys said yes. What do you respond to that?
Yes, I trust. Okay. I trust Seth Curry to get the ball on a swing action. You're not going to call a play for Seth Curry, but if it swings to him, yes, I trust him to knock down a shot. But the thing is, you want your best players shooting the last shot every time. Kobe's not giving that up. Mike Jordan's not giving that up. Even LeBron at his late stages of his career is not giving that up. Your best player, if he's a dog, is going to take the shot, and you got to be okay with it. So I'm okay with Joel saying, nah. If we lose, it's on Joel. He's going to get the criticism.
Right.
So he should take that shot.
Okay. Well, that is the playbook. Thank you for watching. You can watch us every Monday at 1:45. Thank you to Sean Bell. He'll be back not next week, the week after. And we will talk to you here as we do every Monday, 1:45 on Mina Say What. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching The Playbook. I'm your host, Mina Say What, and you got something you want to talk about next week? You can always hit me up on social media at Mina Say What, and make sure you join us 1:45 next Monday on R&B Philly's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube,